Hey everyone, welcome back to Men's Couch. Today is today I don't well, today I think it's episode 10. So we're talking about body dysmorphia and how that affects men. On the podcast today is me, Micah.
Sam.
Maha.
Morris.
Okay, and yeah, today we're talking about body dysmorphia and how that affects men. I feel like when it comes to talking about body image and body dysmorphia, I feel like men sometimes are out of the picture sometimes. Do you feel that way?
I feel that way.
Nah, I feel the opposite.
Okay.
I see a lot of gym.
I didn't even hear what you said.
Okay, so
I think the media definitely covers women more.
Yeah, I feel like
but it's definitely a systemic problem across both genders.
Yeah.
But it's definitely labeled as a female problem. But men are just as susceptible to issues with their body image as women, and that's what we're here to talk about.
Yeah. So, I feel like even though I feel like it's a lot more normalized to talk about body image issues with women than it is with men, because it's like it's kind of seen as kind of weird if you struggle with body image. But I feel like maybe Morris, you have something like you maybe experience something different.
The media definitely, goes hard on with their bodies.
Yeah.
But I don't know, if you go online or something, like where I've been on Gym Talk all the time.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, all of these guys.
I don't know what that is.
It's if you've ever been on TikTok or in general or anything.
Oh, I'm not on.
Basically they'll put into certain sections, like there'll be gym talk or fashion talk or whatever. But right now I'm on Reels. But basically it's just a bunch of gym bros, and they feel bad for being chubby, so they'll you just see them trying to go through this arc of trying to improve themselves. Or if you know about looks maxing, do you know what that is? No, that's a newer thing that was brought up with the generation.
Okay.
It's this new generation that's trying to look better because they feel bad about how they look.
Oh, okay.
Even
You're maxing out your looks, basically.
Okay.
They feel bad about their jaw lines, how chubby they might be, how much
the whole thing
muscle.
with mewing.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Pretty much, looks maxing is the modern term for body dysmorphia, in a sense.
Yeah. No, it is body. It basically is body dysmorphia.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's how they make it sound positive. It's still really bad for the brain.
Mm-hmm.
Horrible for the brain.
It is kind of a way to spin it because it sounds positive because you throw the word max in there, and all of a sudden people are like, oh, I want to do that. No, it's body dysmorphia, and it's an unhealthy relationship with your body image. So, but that is something you can go down that rabbit hole on TikTok where you see a ton of jacked people and you find yourself comparing, and that's the 1%, that 0.1%. And if you're comparing yourself, that can be very harmful.
I want to take a video.
Yeah.
There's even an app that'll scan your face and it'll rate you. And be like, God. Yeah, have you seen that? No, it'll be you're a 98 or something, or if you're a regular person, you'd be a 50 or 40, and it'd be you have to do this to look good.
What the heck?
Yeah,
there's an app that rates how you look.
Yeah, there's an app that rates how you look, and it gives you ideas to look better. It'd be you dress like this, you should get this haircut.
That's crazy.
Or that's what I've seen. I haven't actually downloaded them because it's it wants you to pay for it, and I don't know. I don't want to pay for you to just put me down. So
that's crazy.
I know what you mean though, yeah.
And I guess that's one of the things that affects our body image. I'm hearing a lot of different things that are affecting our body image, mainly I guess social media. So
yeah, I think most of where we look for reference for fashion, gym ideas is social media. Because if we go in person, we see everyone around us. They're not the 1%. They're the other 99% that are also what is it? They're trying to look like the 1%, and we're all struggling because we're never gonna be like that. We're not taking the steroids and the insane things that they do.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I know personally, I'm a Division I runner here. I'm on the cross country team, and I've seen, I think, about every single type of eating disorder, body dysmorphia, anorexia in the book. A lot of times it's associated, especially for high school runners. I know it's a big thing in high school that if you're lighter and you weigh less, you're going to be faster.
Okay.
That's not the truth. And you need to think of food as your fuel.
Okay.
On the day, I've already ran my 9 easy miles. I burned about 1,000 calories doing that. And I just got done a little bit ago with my 20-mile bike ride for my second activity. Normally I run twice, but today biking for that second time. And that's another 1,000 calories. So you've got 2,000 calories that you got to replace there.
Okay.
But most people are really, really stressed about that, and they just want to be light because they assume if I'm light, I'm going to feel light and I'm going to race better. But when you're running high mileage and when you're training hard, you need to have a positive relationship with food. And you need to understand that it's okay to have cheat meals. You need to be regimented in your diet and everything in moderation, but also if you're restricting yourself, that makes eating a chore. And when eating is a chore, you're going to struggle to eat.
Yeah. That's like great insight, because I kind of like, I don't know, I never would have thought that like maybe it's like a struggle like in sports. But I guess like it is, because you have to like maintain a certain weight. But
wrestling's a big thing too. For wrestling, you have to cut to a certain weight, and there's lots of unhealthy practices associated with that. You have to sweat out the weight. A lot of times you purge yourself. You're not eating for a couple days. And that can be really dangerous, really scary. And that's something that a lot of men do. Wrestling's mostly a male-dominant sport. And I'm sure there's lots of wrestlers who have body issues and body dysmorphia because of their sport.
Yeah.
Actually, can I comment? Like,
yeah.
So basically, I think I'm a really good pick for this topic because I grew up as like, you know, a fat, chubby kid. Like, I was hefty. Like, in my freshman year, I was 280. And my friend decided to put me on the wrestling team because he wanted to see if I would like it. So I basically cut down. I lost 60 pounds with wrestling. And, yeah, there's definitely a lot of that because, like, some kids just have to go through a lot to lose a lot of weight. Like, they'll, like, start spitting in a cup, too. Like, that's the thing that they do. I don't know how it works. Yeah, they'll spit in a cup.
Oh my gosh.
And they'll do that all the time. And they'll like, I don't know why.
So it's just like water weight or something?
I guess so. But I remember seeing my friend do that. And I was just like, why are you doing that? He was like, it just somehow just helps you lose weight. And then he would be like fasting. And then right before like the match day, he'd be like, all right, coach would be like, all right, you cannot drink water before you go to sleep. It's like, because that water weight is like worse than anything. And then sometimes you would have to like run before you start the game with like 2 sweaters on. One time I had to give my wrestling teammate a sweater.
Oh my gosh.
And he had to wear 2 of them while running in the room for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely understand all of that like body image thing, because like I remember like looking at myself when I was like younger and just like not enjoying how I looked. And I just, you know, I used to try to work out, but I never could. I would always overeat because I'm a big eater. And any of my friends can like say that I'm a big eater. So like I would just eat more than I worked out, and then sometimes I just wouldn't work out. So, you know.
Did you ever feel sorry.
No, go ahead.
Did you ever feel dizzy like when you did that like sweating stuff, your friend? Because like how do you function like a whole like wrestling match with like no water?
Yeah, it's hard to have nothing in your stomach while you're like wrestling and no water. It's just like, so basically as soon as you weighed in though, like as soon as you hit that weight and it said whatever you're supposed to be, you were able to eat and stuff, but like you had like 20-30 minutes until your first match.
Oh,
so you wouldn't have that much time to consume anything.
Okay.
So you'd eat, you'd drink, then boom, you go right, like not too much, because if you eat too much, you're gonna throw up on the mat, and it's not gonna be great. It's not gonna be good. So they'll give you like a little bar.
Wow.
A little bar and some Gatorade, or maybe a PB&J, some peanut butter crackers.
Yeah.
Nothing too much that's gonna weigh on your belly, and then you go in, then you wrestle for 6 minutes. You get out, and the most you could wrestle in high school in one day was 5 rounds, and
5 rounds.
yeah, you just have to portion out.
Is that because of like they knew it would be too much?
Yeah, like if you did more than that, it'd be way too much.
Yeah.
Like wrestling is super taxing on the body. Like at the end of the day, you'd barely be able to like do anything. You just like want to go home and go to sleep.
Were you allowed to like drink water after? Hopefully.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You'd have a little bit. You'd still have to like not do too much because but I thought it was good because I was a heavyweight.
Yeah.
I didn't have to like always cut down. But, like, there were definitely times where I just wanted to cut down because I wanted to be lighter. So, like, to give you an example, my weight class is it ended at 285.
Mm-hmm.
So I could be between 215 and 285.
Okay.
But at the time, I was like 240, and I was like, maybe I can cut down to 215 because I just want to be lighter, like, just want to see if I could do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was getting down there, and like, because wrestling in general, it'll just take the weight off you. So I was just going to practice.
Did you feel like you were mentally healthy through that process of trying to cut weight, or did you find you were approaching food differently because you were trying to cut? And were you happy with how you looked when you were cutting, or was it not going to be enough?
Like,
That's
it was
a good question.
Yeah, it was never going to be enough for real. Because, like, wherever you were, you wanted to be more muscular, you wanted to be skinnier, I wanted to look just, like, better for myself. And I thought that going down would look better. So everybody was like, I cut from 240 to 230. And at this point, it was a disadvantage because I was too light for the heavyweights. And my coach was like, all right, you got to stop. You got to start eating more. Because, like, when I would eat, like, over, I just feel like, damn, I really pigged out this time. I just feel bad. Like, I feel guilty.
You feel guilty. Yeah, you
Yeah.
feel guilty.
You eat too much, you feel like you did something wrong. Like, somebody's gonna, like, you're just yelling at yourself. You're always putting yourself down for everything you did. That's like my mindset.
I always say with fueling your body, sometimes overeat, try to eat the right amount, never undereat. If you overeat, don't feel guilt about it. You're going to try to eat the right amount, try to eat good portions, try to, in moderation, don't try to undereat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have that relationship with food.
I think I've heard like when you overeat, as long as you get your like macros and your proteins, like I don't think it matters too much, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
On the contrast, if you undereat, you don't get your macros, your proteins, and you don't do good. So.
And eating can be a social thing too. Like lots of times you need to treat yourself. If your friends are getting a pizza, eat a slice of pizza with them. I know lots of people who have had issues with their body weight and body dysmorphia, and they've skipped out on social events. They've skipped out on pumpkin pie at Thanksgiving, the little things in life, because they were so scared about ballooning.
Is it like a shame thing then?
Yeah.
Absolutely a shame thing.
Probably
Absolutely.
after eating it.
Yeah, they feel like, so I guess like with body dysmorphia or body image, it's like people feel a sense of shame of how they look because they're not like fitting a certain expectation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
I feel that too.
I even feel it like currently now because like I haven't really hit the gym. I've just been doing rugby, so like even like so here's how my mental is, and it's bad, I know, but like I wake up and I'm like, okay, I gotta go to the gym. I have to. Like if I don't, I'm just gonna like feel bad. If I don't, like I'm a failure. Like I don't go to.
But then if you talk like that, then you might not want to go.
It's just weird. Like so, I wake up and I'm like, all right, I have to go to the gym, and then if I do, I feel good. If I don't, all day, no matter how long the day is, all day you're just like you should have went to the gym, or it's like you gotta go now, or it's like.
So it's that like guilt shame thing that kind of like like if you're not doing this, then that means there's something like wrong about you, or something that you did wrong.
I completely agree with that. Like,
Okay.
I feel the same way. It ruins my day if I don't make it.
Yeah.
To the gym.
Yeah.
And
Okay. I don't go to the gym. So
I've been
I don't know.
trying to just like shut it out because I'm doing a sport right now. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm doing rugby. So.
And also, like, I feel like if you have that, before going to the gym, then it's gonna make you less likely to want to go, because if you keep if you're feeling guilty or shame about not going, then it reinforces that idea of it can be like a chore. So yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know if you know who David Goggins is.
Oh my God.
I have no
he
idea.
knows who David Goggins is. It's the guy. Like he's the.
I don't know.
He's who's gonna carry the boats? Who's gonna carry
Oh
the
my
boats, man?
God.
We
But
all
like,
know David, yeah.
Yeah.
We all know David.
So there's a bunch of clips of him. He's just like, stop being fat, stop being lazy, go to the gym. He doesn't care how you feel. If you feel bad, if you feel happy, if you feel sad, you're supposed to go, or you're supposed to do something. And it just you listen to that every day, and you're just like, I have to go. I have to go.
So it's it does reinforce that.
Because you see that on Gym Talk, people like that. They just reinforce that message.
I still don't know what that is.
It's just if you open your phone right now and it screamed at you and it said, you are being lazy.
You
Oh,
are
okay.
worthless.
Yeah, you are nothing if you're not.
Here's the secret.
Yeah.
I don't have social media, so
Maybe that's
I
a
don't
good
have
thing.
social media.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
that's why I don't know what
I
this
don't.
is.
I don't like to put myself on social media, but I like to watch things all the time.
Okay.
And no matter what, you're gonna get. I feel like I get sucked into that. Scroll.
Yeah, you can get. It's easy to get sucked into that. Yeah.
And
it's
no matter where my For You page goes, it always circles back to Gym Talk, and I'm just like, all right.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do it. And it'll be randomly. Sometimes it'll be all right, do 40 push-ups out of nowhere. And just okay, I'll do 40 push-ups.
So are we thinking that the expectations from maybe social media are just maybe standards that we put on ourselves and other people? Is that affecting our body image?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I feel like if social media didn't exist, or if we didn't make it as important as it is, body dysmorphia wouldn't exist.
Okay.
It just wouldn't be a problem, because we wouldn't have that thing on our phone where we just compare with the 1% 24/7.
I don't think it would be as strong, but I think it would still be here. It's strong. It's super strong, because you immediately go anywhere and you see people that look like they're carved out of stone. So you're just
And I guess you're gonna say something.
Obsessive compulsive is actually the label that body dysmorphia disease is put under in the DSM-5 too. So when you're obsessing and you're seeing other people, and it's compulsive, you're overeating or undereating, and you don't have regularity and cycles and patterns to what you're eating, that's when it becomes an issue.
Yeah, and there's it's even the slightest thing you have wrong with you, because me personally, I have gyno, and that's and it's extra tissue in my pecs, so it looks like I have puffy. So
it's called gyno.
Yeah, gyno. So basically, it's really known within places basically bodybuilders. Some bodybuilders have it. Some a lot of people have it. You can get surgery to remove it. But I've always felt bad about it, no matter what, all my life. I just now started taking off my shirt in public. I think the first time I had my shirt off in public was this July 4th. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was.
And was that a big step for you?
Yeah, I was gonna
that
ask.
was a huge step, because I went to the beach and I was just all right, I'll just take it off.
Did you feel like everyone was staring at you, or did you feel comfortable in your own skin?
Absolutely did. I feel like everybody was staring at me.
Yeah.
I felt like even though I know I wasn't, I felt like there was a spotlight on me, and it was just showing straight on my chest, and it's hard to live like that all the time,
Seems like you're taking baby steps though, and you're becoming
it
more
was-
comfortable in your skin.
It was so bad in middle school, because I would
And middle school boys are ruthless too.
I would
They'll
I was
pick on you.
extra fat,
Yeah.
so I would have
Traumatized in middle school.
Yeah, I would have a second shirt. I would always wear 2 shirts, anytime, no matter what. And it went into high school, and then when I wrestled in high school, no matter the practices,
Mm.
I had 2 shirts on
Mm.
every practice for my freshman year. So I would, I always had one under one that would cover it up because you need like something, like for me, you need something to like press it down, and then you would have your shirt above it.
I still do that.
Yeah.
I wear like a tank top. I tuck it in, so it like compresses my chest, and then a shirt over that.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
So I guess like I haven't really talked about like my journey. So my journey with I guess body image, I would say mostly like I guess it started when I was bullied in middle school, so that like experience kind of affected how I view my body, and it wasn't really until maybe end of high school and like more so into my first year of college that I kind of really became comfortable with like my body. It really started when I started to grow locks, like grow my hair out. I started to like really appreciate like who I am and like how my body is unique, and that uniqueness is a good thing because we all need to be unique. And I think accepting that like really helped with body image.
So like before, when you had shorter hair, you felt like insecure about it, or?
Not necessarily. It was just when I started growing my locks, I started paying attention to my hair more, and I paid attention to like how like my hair looked with like the rest of my body. So I started paying attention to like more of like my body in general, and just getting more into fashion. Kind of like I don't want to, as a preview to the next episode. It kind of helped with body image because I have like I know like with like fashion, not to get into it too much, but it's how like I express my individuality, and I think with helping body dysmorphia is understanding that your body is made to be unique, and it's not like just because it's not fitting like a certain box, that the box or standard was placed there by someone else who isn't you.
Yeah.
So it's like
no two snowflakes are alike, so no two people should be alike. As a Catholic, now I'm not here to impose my faith on everyone, but I believe everyone's created in God's image, and that includes our bodies, and so we should be proud.
I'm Christian over here, so
I like that. I'm not religious, but I like that message.
Yeah,
that's a good message.
To be honest with you,
huh?
I don't know the difference between.
That's for a different episode.
That's a different.
That's a whole different podcast. Probably, but
you should get me on that one. I don't even. I'm like completely different from everybody with that one. I'm not gonna lie. That would be a good topic, but not now.
But yeah, I feel like I think everyone can relate to struggling with body image. I mean, we grow up in a culture that places standards on us of beauty standards or just standards in general, that we feel that in order for us to be accepted by everyone else, we have to live by those standards, or I guess we think that this standard of this image is healthy, when it's really it's healthy for that person, but it's not like possible for us because my body just doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel like women also have it pretty bad too.
Definitely.
I think equally or maybe even worse.
Yeah. I think
definitely worse.
I think just for us it's just maybe hidden more. I don't know if you agree with that. It's just kind of
we don't really talk.
People don't really
We just don't talk about.
They just don't.
Or like what it would be like in my experience of in middle school, it would just kind of be like I don't know how to like. It would just be like kind of shaming how your body looks.
Definitely.
Like I've gotten so many things like, okay, you're so small, you're so skinny, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it would just, when you like are constantly hearing that all the time, it kind of like leads you to doubt who you are, and it leads you to see yourself as something that is wrong with me. And I think that's like the core problem, is the feeling that something's wrong with who I am and like how I am. I think that's where body image comes from.
Middle school for me, it wasn't even guys. I was bullied by females the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, I was too.
I was too big for guys to bully me. because
Oh, okay.
yeah. So basically, girls would just take it instead, and women are harsh, man. They got me. Like,
Yeah.
You don't have to, but like, what did they say?
they would, bro. They would. So like, as I said about my guy, bringing that back up, I just remember just doing my work randomly, and this one girl says, I have a bra. If you need
Oh
it."
my gosh,
Wow.
that's crazy.
She was,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
because things like that all the time, they would just get to me.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, obviously I was like, I don't want to show my chest off. Like, my chest is just, it was a vulnerable part of me.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't
It's
catch me
terrible.
with my shirt off. Like,
Yeah,
ever.
and I guess it's always like, and people, like, I guess they'll point out something about you, whether it's your hair or whether like something on your body, and they'll say something to say that there's something wrong with it, and then you feel like so, like you kind of like you're obsessing about the thing that you think is wrong, whether it's like your hair or your chest. You're obsessed about that and think there's like something, I need to fix something about this because someone else said that it's wrong.
When you have body dysmorphia.
Am I cooking?
Yeah. Yeah.
When you have body dysmorphia, even the smallest of comments can set you off, and then you're just dwelling upon your flaws.
Yeah.
So I would encourage the audience, whoever's listening, and for the people on this panel, when you go back to your dorm or your home, your apartment, whoever's listening, look in the mirror and say some positive affirmations. Just spend some time and compliment yourself and be proud of who you are. Don't dwell on the little flaws, because some people probably wouldn't even notice them. Some
Maybe
people
it's a
are looking at you
perceived
and they're
flaw.
like, wow, I wish I had that body, or
Yeah.
I wish I could
Yeah.
do this. So
Yeah.
there's no cookie cutter mold that's perfect. So
Yeah,
be proud of what you have.
Maybe it's a perceived flaw.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've actually seen people like do that. Like they even like write post-it notes on their window and like
Okay, that's
their
cool.
mirrors. And
A
they
little
write like
affirmation can go a
yeah.
long
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Because I've never like enforced my beliefs on anybody. Like, when I was dating, like I never cared as long as you're healthy and happy. It's like,
Yeah. I think that's too, like just affirming how someone looks, or just like complimenting someone. That's another thing. I don't know if you were here when Kane was here.
No, I don't
I don't
think
know.
so.
Well, he's the guy of compliments, and
Love that kid.
Who, Kane?
Yeah.
Kane
Kurt
is like Kane's the man.
Is he a sophomore or like?
He's a sophomore, yeah.
Okay.
So it's stuff like that that adds to your life, and I think trying to fit this like certain mold, it's not really. I think you got to like take a step back and say, is this like adding to how am I like feeling happier after, or do I feel like more like I'm just not enough?
Yeah.
I think that's like the thing. It's like, do we feel enough within ourselves?
Hmm.
Oh.
I mean, I get what you're saying. One thing I did want to add on to that is like, question: have you guys been in a relationship?
Yeah.
yeah, I was.
I haven't.
A year and a half long.
And do you ever think like, what am I trying to say?
You have to look a certain way for
Yeah.
a person.
Like, do you
kind
feel
of.
like you had to change for them, like your physical appearance?
Nah, I never imposed anything. Like, I feel like once you get into a long enough relationship, it might just go down. To be honest, like your self confidence, like as long as
Oh my. Okay.
yeah, that's how it for me. Cause like
Oh.
I knew she liked me because of how I was.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I don't really, like.
You said self confidence goes down.
No, self confidence goes up. It's just
Oh,
like,
it goes up. I think
okay.
it said down.
not up, not
Okay.
not down. So
Yeah.
like I just felt better because
Yeah.
like there was somebody always there.
Because they
who was just-
accepted you.
Yeah,
for who
who's
you
just
are.
gonna be like, I don't really care what you wear, that you have like gyno, or that you're, I don't know, just a big dude. So I was like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's important too, to have someone, whether it's a family member or whether it's like a relationship, to affirm you, affirm who you are. Yeah, I think for me, I feel like it's definitely gotten better as far as body dysmorphia. I think for a while I was kind of like afraid of. I think that's why I was like socially anxious in high school. Is because like I thought people were looking at my body and like judging it.
I think that's normal, right?
Yeah. So I think like that's like also tied into social anxiety. And if you feel a certain way about like how you look, then you're not gonna want to like interact with people. You're gonna think that it's just weird.
Yeah.
I'm weird.
My social anxiety is so bad. Like, as soon as I step into the outside air, like I just feel like everyone's gaze is on me. The second I leave.
I think that that's also tied into body dysmorphia. If you feel like people are always watching you or always, maybe like perceiving something about your body, and I think really like the judgments that we think other people have are the judgments that we have on ourselves. So I think that's something to like tackle is like we're judging ourselves already, so we think other people are thinking the same thing. And and another thing I want to talk about is comparison. Body comparison is such a, for me, I definitely struggle with body comparison. It's just I think it's I don't know if you
Sam, do you think like as a runner, I'm actually kind of interested, like, do you think people compare each other, like if they're like lighter or like skinnier? You think they're like overall a better runner, or what do you think?
Definitely, but we all come in different shapes and forms, and I've ran with people who are 6'7" and really good runners who ran 440 in high school. I've ran with guys now. Roman, you know Roman.
Roman, the pizza guy.
Roman's like 5'6", and he generates a lot of force really at the 800. He ran a 4:17 mile in high school. He's a stud. And he looks very, very different from my friend in high school, who's also a very good runner. But I think a lot of times there's a stigma around it that, if you're lighter, you're going to be better. But it's physiologically not true. When you're running long distance, you have to replenish your glycogen levels. You have to get adequate carbs. You have to get adequate fruits. Because if you don't have that glycogen stored, that's why people carb load. Your body needs that fuel. It needs that glycogen to do what I do at the highest level. So if you're shortchanging yourself of fuel, you're only hurting yourself in the long run. But I've seen people who are bulimic who make themselves throw up just because they think it'll make them faster.
Okay.
And that's just such a dangerous path to go down.
Yeah.
So, and it's really sad to see because you can't help them, because a lot of times people with body dysmorphia, they're so set in their own ways. And it's hard for them to get out of their head that they need to look a certain way to be successful in the sport.
Yeah, I think that if it's like very ingrained, then you're just gonna feel that you need to like do something to fix it, fix your body. But the problem is your body doesn't need to be fixed. It's more so like something like that's internal. That's like kind of wrong.
Yeah, I even had time where I compare myself today, like multiple times, but like it happens all the time. Even with Mahat, I saw him walk in, I was like, he's dressed so well, man. I was like, thank you. I'm just like sitting over here. I'm just like, you could do better. But I'm like, I should go do something. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I was, I felt a little bad about like the way I was dressed, the way I looked, or generally. So I was just walking. I saw mine. I was like, yeah, I could do better.
Yeah, and it's like it's kind of like that perception that other people are better than you based on how they look, or they're just is that like kind of like we place people high, like as higher than us because we think they're better because of how they look, and then we put ourselves down because we perceive ourselves as, because I'm looking different than you, then that means I'm like less than you because I just style differently, or my style is different. So it's a very hard thing. It's challenging to deal with comparison because comparison's our default. We just compare to like anyone that we perceive as just is better, but the reality is no one is. Even it's not that simple. I know it's not that simple, but the reality is like no one's better. It's just everyone is their own individual selves, and if we do compare ourselves to someone else's individuality, we're always going to feel less than because that is who they are. And maybe we need to more so discover like how we like dress, and that's kind of like that's what it was for me. Is I needed to stop trying to look like John or her. John's a make believe person.
Just a cool looking guy.
Yeah, I need to stop looking like John, and I need to start looking like Micah. Like what? Like how do I, and that's why I got so much into fashion. As I kind of was like, well, what do I like? Because before I would just always wear like kind of what everyone else would wear, but once I started like going Hot Topic and things like that, I started like getting into more of like what I like, and I think it's more of that's I'm not saying that like for everyone that's gonna like help with body image but it came from like it stemmed from an internal thing where I stopped trying to look like someone else, and I was more like trying to find like discover like who Micah is or who Sam is or Maha or Morris.
And I feel like that probably just makes you look better in general because you're like an outlier that they look at you like, whoa, Micah's different.
Yeah.
I like to wear goofy things.
So
I think this is a good segue for tomorrow's episode too. So I don't want to talk about it too much because I know we are doing fashion tomorrow. But
what's that?
I think we've covered some really good stuff today talking about comparison. I think we've learned a little bit more about wrestling and the process of cutting too, and gym talk and all the things that are very common in our society. So I wanted to go around and see if anyone had some final thoughts to wrap up. Morris, Micah, anyone? What do you want to leave the listeners with when talking about body dysmorphia?
Right, so if I were to say any advice to a listener that was like that could relate to me, it's like I feel like when I go outside, I feel like I compare myself to a lot of people. What like really just like calms me down, I don't know, I just like sit there. I'm just like, I like to be me. I like to do the things I do. I'm doing what I can. I'm doing the best I can. If I don't hit the gym, if I do hit the gym, the world's not gonna end. It's just it's just do you. When I was in this summer, I used to run like 20 minutes all the time. Like every day I would go run. So, but like I didn't want to do it every day. I wouldn't say you don't have to do this every day. You just have to do this when you feel like it. Because if you say you're gonna do everything like something every day, sometimes you're gonna miss a day and then you're gonna hate yourself for it.
It's that extra pressure. So
I didn't say I was gonna do this every day. I said I'm gonna do this when I feel like doing it, and then that just happened to be every day. But like when you do miss a day, you're just like, okay, today I just didn't.
Morris
feel
is on that Goggins time.
It's just
like that.
Yeah, there's obviously a point of self-improvement where you can go out, dress better, eat healthier, work out. Definitely inspired all of that, wherever you feel more comfortable towards. But, it's not a race. Also, you can't be perfect either. So, get to where you are comfortable.
Yeah.
Micah,
do you have any
final thoughts?
What do you have any?
I would just say instead of training to be like having a perfect body, just try to feel better. That's simple as that. Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts?
I'd say the big three that I harped on earlier. Positive affirmations. Say positive things when you're looking yourself in the mirror. Don't dwell on the flaws. Don't hyperfixate on one thing. And then just try to have a positive relationship with food and have a good approach to that.
Another thing that actually does really help is like friends, 100%. Friends will who assure you that you do not look bad.
Yeah, or people that tell you, well, that's not like it's in your mind. It's actually not like how you actually look.
So not only should you do the affirmations, if you see a friend, you should definitely
To wash is coming back.
You should tell your friends, hey man, Like, I don't know how your life is going, how you see yourself. Just know that, like, you're okay. You look good.
Yeah, like affirm someone else.
You're doing great. You know.
You'll be all right.
Just go out there. Like, kind of give somebody a compliment. Whoever's looking down, whoever doesn't look confident in themselves, whoever's been saying something, like, hey, man, I've been feeling pretty bad about how I look or something like this. Just be like, hey, man, you look good. You're fine.
A little compliment can go a long way.
Yeah, mostly for a man. Like, we don't get
too
few and far in between.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of them. I'm not gonna lie. And in a day where you get a compliment, you're just like,
you hold on to it like all day long.
Yeah, all day long. Sometimes even like a week later, man, just like, hey, man, he said that one time and that really helped me. So I was like,
yeah, I think my last thoughts are, try to look who you are, discover what works for you, and someone else. Like, you need to own the traits that are you that. Okay, own the traits that you perceive as flaws. So if you perceive that you're, for me, if I perceive that I'm, being skinnier is a flaw, then I need to own that I am skinny, and just declare it as, this is enough. This is how I was, kind of what we said earlier, how God made me. I don't need to change that because it's enough as it is. And I feel like living in the changing your identity to I'm enough as is will help. I'm not saying it's like a light switch, but it's more of coming into that and just focusing on yourself, because it's so easy with social media and everything else to want to look like someone else, but you need to appreciate what makes you you, and declare that as, this is good, this is enough. That's all I have to say.
I agree.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Great episode.
Did we cook?
Number 10 in the books.
I'll never say
Awesome.
cook. I don't ever say cook. But.
That was great.
That's great.
All right.
Until next time, tomorrow we got fashion.
All right.
Awesome.